This is an after-school program podcast.
What key are we in, G?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what else I can do, guys. Every week I try to produce this TV show. This 3-camera angle TV show. With just PD and I, and I'm doing my best to those who are watching. If it's a little rough sometimes, I do this professionally. I just want you to know that.
Yeah.
Welcome to Church Stories Podcast.
The place where you laugh the hardest.
When you're not supposed to. I realized that was I needed to finish the statement before you went on.
I thought I would pitch it this time.
Yeah, we're doing something different, guys.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, PD. Welcome back.
Yeah. Back again.
We don't do this enough, and that's just a fun fact. Let me change one thing over here.
But it comes out once a week.
Yeah, and people need to stop giving us a hard time.
I don't know, but nobody's giving us a hard time.
No, one thing that I always think of is that we've done this consistently with video since March or whatever,
that's
like
pretty crazy.
mid-pandemic. For some odd reason, when people were dying of a virus, we were like, you know what, we can hone in now.
Yeah.
This internet radio show that we've been doing
That's when we did
for a few thousand people.
the Bachmann Brothers band episode.
Yeah,
During that time.
Yeah. We got a guest today. Well, he's not really a guest. He's been on the show.
Do you want to do like an intro, like a song intro?
Yeah. Do you want to do? What do you got queued up?
I got something special. Oh wait, no. Let me.
Let's play this after the Jamie Harrison ad.
All right, there we go. On the show today,
He's been a guest. He's going for possibly the longest running guest on the show.
I think he's tied with Jonathan Wright.
If you're watching this, his hands are raised because this is the Alabama theme song.
Yes.
Roll Tide, and he's wearing a Bama shirt
Yes.
And a Barstool cap.
to cap off the
Barstool
look.
Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for none other than Mr. Scott Bachmann, Scotty B, Executive Producer Emeritus.
There you go.
Yeah.
I kind of gave myself that title. The emeritus, like when a guy is like the senior pastor emeritus.
Yeah.
It means like he's like an old former senior pastor that like he's still alive, but now they just make him do hospital visitation.
And you know why they do that?
Why is
So he can still stay on salary.
Yeah. Yeah, it gives him
Because
something to do.
usually that case, he's hired his son. So his son is up and coming and now the senior pastor. And he's like, hey, Dad, I'm going to take care of you. So you could hit up 2 nursing homes a week and then play golf the rest of the week.
So I was going to ask you, like...
Welcome back to the show, Mr. Scott.
Hey, it's good to be here. Do you have numbers on how many people, like the video versus the podcast?
Yeah.
Video versus audio. Do you have numbers on...
Okay. Are we going to number drop
Like,
today?
do you pay attention to
Well,
that?
we do.
or-
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I'll check in occasionally. More people listen than watch.
Than watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but and
Yeah.
I mean, like, what,
But we
a couple
still try
hundred
to-
people watch the episodes
Yeah, a
a
couple
week,
hundred
so-
people a week.
So I watch.
Yes.
Because I like to lay on the couch and play games on my phone
Okay.
during the podcast or video.
Yeah.
What do you call it when it's on TV? On
It's
YouTube?
still a podcast.
Yeah.
We just
And
kinda
then
watching a
if
podcast.
something interesting happens visually, you know, I look up all along and I glance and I'm looking I'm looking between my phone
Yeah.
and the TV, but I just like seeing it on a big TV, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it.
What did they start calling that? When
No,
they
thank
want,
you. When setting up the cameras.
When they wanted people to
It's been
tweet
ridiculous.
during TV shows, like the second screen experience.
Yeah, I've
You remember
never
that?
heard that, but I've also heard like Keep Up with the Stars will be live tweeting.
Yeah.
The stars of How I Met Your Mother will be live tweeting the season finale. And you're like, all right, guys, I don't
I tell you,
think I want to keep up with that, but thank you. Thank you for the effort.
Yeah, the whole media, the way we consume, you know, content of various types has changed
Yeah.
so much and is changing. Like, I don't have cable TV anymore, and so like on a Saturday when teams are playing football, all I do is go on YouTube now and type in, you know, Georgia versus Auburn. And I just watch a live stream because they're all being live streamed now on YouTube.
Right.
You have to, you know, you have the annoying commercials that you have to skip past once in a while. But the weird thing that happened, I noticed yesterday, is on the live. I don't know where this live stream is coming from. It's coming from somewhere else in the country. So they would go to a commercial break, and there'd be this commercial for some politician, local politician, Tom Henderson.
Yeah.
Tom Henderson took tax money and used it to build his wife a beauty salon. Tom Henderson doesn't care about us. And I'm like, who is Tom? I don't care. You know,
Where you just got a cease and desist from.
the way you just said that, I just found out that attack ads highlight who they're attacking more than who they're like propping up. So in that you're like, Tom Henderson sucks, and then you're like, this was sponsored and paid for by blah 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 Jim Johnson or whatever. You're like, all right, sorry man, I want to know more about this Tom Henderson guy.
With the targeted ads and stuff, like you can't get away from the political ads on YouTube or anywhere on the internet right now.
Have y'all gotten texts from like local Democrats or Republicans?
No.
Like the volunteer. I've gotten texts from people that are like, "Hey, what's up, Shama? This is Sean. I'm volunteering for the Biden campaign. Are you going to be voting at the polls next month?" And I always respond with "stop." One time, I probably texted "stop" like 100 times. I just went "stop, send, stop, send, stop." And y'all haven't gotten those?
No, I got.
No,
I was texted
text
by
messages to your phone number.
Months and months ago. I got Elizabeth Warren texts, and I was like, I just responded with, "How did you get my number?"
back during the primaries,
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I got on a list of. I started getting text messages or Facebook posts or private messages on Facebook from Pete Buttigieg. And so I finally just unliked it or whatever. I got out of that because I think maybe I was just wanting to play with somebody or just kind of toy with them or something. But I was like, this isn't worth it. And so now, let me tell you, if I get one more text message from Donald Trump Jr., I'm going to go up there and personally strangle the guy because I'm so tired of it. It's like my phone just won't stop. But
man, so those numbers, here's the thing. Like, I've watched a few documentaries on like data, which they say that is the biggest resource right now is data.
Yeah.
Companies pay millions of dollars for data. So when they talk about, I'm on this app, it's free. They're like, well, nothing's free. You're the product.
Yeah.
Right. So they're actually paying for, hey, I want this demographic of people in the Carolinas or whatever. And they happen, and I don't know, Mark Zuckerberg's like, cool, yeah, give me a check, Donald Trump Jr., and you can text all these people that you want. So
Wow.
it's kind of ridiculous.
Oh,
but
I have a Pete button to go on my shirt because Thomas Hooper, for some reason, came over with it and said, there's like a group of people at Clemson for Pete. And I got a button.
It's Clemson students for Pete.
Yeah.
quick sidebar, quick rabbit trail. This is since you mentioned Thomas, I found this and thought I would bring it and just to remind you guys of this glorious,
man,
this awesome, glorious
Saturday
event.
Night Live. This was a comedy show that we
Yeah.
put up at our church. Man, what year was this? 2015.
Okay,
14?
so that picture, that was.
Introducing P.D. Bachmann and Thomas Hooper.
Yeah.
So that picture of me is me standing on a pile of mulch, I think, and then under that is Thomas's failed presidential run at Pickens High School.
Yeah.
Where he ran as a communist.
But
You ran as a
hey,
Yes, he did.
this was like a first effort, and this was all in all a very successful event.
Yeah. I loved it. I thought
Yeah.
I know that we raised a lot of money for. I don't even remember. It was like for camp or something. I never saw a dime from it.
Thomas said that he was running against like basically Ronald Reagan, and then he had to like be the opposite, I think is what he went with. And then he convinced the whole school that he was like a communist Jew.
And people were like, wait a second. Thomas, man.
But
So funny.
back to the political ads on social media or whatever. I created a meme a couple of days ago that I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
I went on. I did searched Google Images and found a picture of a guy like from the waist down with a dog humping his leg. And then I opened that picture in befunky.com where you can kind of add text to it. And so I put me with an arrow I'm the guy. And the dog humping my leg is Facebook trying to get me to vote. And seriously, that's how it feels.
Yeah.
You go on, and I know, like PD said, he doesn't even do Facebook anymore.
Because he locked himself out. He doesn't remember his password.
Yeah, I've tried to get back on.
Yeah.
But that's how it feels. Every time I go on Facebook, it's like they are like a dog in heat trying to get me to register to vote. I've been registered to vote for 40 years.
So you can't unregister, right? Like when they were like, "Have you registered?"
No.
I registered in 2016. Like, do I need to register again?
Yeah,
Is that how that works?
And
I don't know, man. I feel like there's so much information, but I'm more lost than I've ever been in my life.
One more thing on Facebook, your grandfather. Oh my gosh.
Well, what has he done?
Freddie B.
He found like the thing where you can go in and add a job that you did or whatever.
So he's been listing
Like
every
70
job
years
that he's
of
had.
He didn't.
He got a resume on Facebook.
He didn't put the dates.
Oh.
And so what it said on Facebook was that
He just started a
just
job.
got a job. He's like 84 years old, and it says that he just started a job in October as the purchasing agent for American Buildings Company in Eufaula, Alabama, which is a job that he had.
Were people
in the
like, "Are
early
you
70s.
moving, Mr. Fred? What's going on?"
And so all of his friends started saying congratulations and putting like congrats gifts on there and stuff. Congratulations. I've been thinking about going back to work myself, and I heard
started a movement.
So I heard Papa explaining to your Aunt Becca last night. I think I made a mistake when I added, and then all of a sudden, all these people are telling me congratulations, and I'm like, whoa, what do I do? How do I get this off? I don't know how to get rid of it.
It's funny to see him constantly confused by the things that you would post.
Oh yeah. I like deep internet humor cuts. I think of these things and I'm like, that you can't, in order for you to laugh, you have to know who I am as a person and also know my type of comedy. But other than that, you're like, man, Shama really, really doesn't like Dave Ramsey for the past couple of weeks.
Why
You're like,
can't Shama stop thinking about Bill Gaither?
yeah, you're like, what is he on? What is his thing about Bill Gaither? You're like, no, that's my thing. Sometimes I bore my wife enough that I'm like, I'm going to take this over to Facebook. The people of Facebook need to hear this joke a million times. I need to beat this dead horse over there. But yeah, he's commented sometimes. I'm like, I'm sorry, Mr. Fred. I got to sit you down and like explain to you my brain and context for all that
he might
stuff.
be listening to this. So if he is,
listening in his corner, like his laundry room, where he gets the best Wi-Fi.
I think everyone should know that his favorite hobby is going up to strangers and just like, what is it, like just joking with them in a way that like confuses them and that he thinks it's hilarious.
This is Uncle Drew.
Oh, do you want to pick up?
Put him on the phone. Yeah,
Sure.
put him on speakerphone. This is the last. We're gonna get that. Oh no, call him back.
Because I'm just
PD, call him on your phone.
The whole
If you call
time
him
I'm
on your
doing the
phone-
math in my head, like, how's he going to react to this? If I answer the phone and say you're on a podcast, he's going to be like, what? And then he's going to hang up.
Oh man, Woody, really? Woody?
You think should I call him
sure,
back?
do it. See what
Should you call him on PD? Could you call him on your phone?
I could.
Because his phone, his
my
phone is
phone's
connected to the Bluetooth
thing. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so we'd all be able to hear him and we could all talk to him.
Yeah.
This
This is the brother that you haven't met.
I have
right?
not met. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like the third Infinity Stone of Bachmann's.
Hello.
Hey, Uncle Drew.
Hey.
We are on the Church Stories podcast right now.
What's up?
Okay.
Since you called Dad, I thought you'd give you a call back. Let you know you're on the air with me and Dad and Shama.
Hey, Mr. Drew.
Hi.
Well,
Do you want to follow up?
Why don't you just give us a church story while we're here? Do you have one?
Yeah.
I don't have any.
None from touring with the Bachmann brothers back in the day?
Not really.
well, if you think of any, you can give us a call back.
All right. Bye.
Love you, bye.
All right.
That went exactly how you thought it would.
You prompted us ahead of time.
Yeah.
Do you want to share how you got the Barstool sports hat? Which
Yeah,
is
about
typically for 18 to 35-year-old white guys
Well,
on
see,
the internet.
I'd never heard of Barstool Sports, but I got a call about a year ago. Hey, you want to run camera we got this pregame show at Clemson for the Clemson Texas A&M game, and that'll happen sometimes. Like if everybody else is busy, I'll still get a phone call to come work a ball game or something like that. And I was like, sure. And some friends of mine were going to be working it, and so I got there, and it was just a typical thing. It was just a 1-hour show though. Before it was kind of like sort of like a college game day thing on ESPN. But somebody told me after I got there, they said this is sort of like game day if game day was rated R.
Was Pat McAfee there? The Colts punter, former Colts punter.
I don't know.
It was like, so you didn't know this until you got there?
No, they were like, this is like game day if game day was all about like bad language and alcohol. Not exactly my crowd, but I'll do it because I'll take their money. That's what I meant.
Hey, some are for the meal and some are for the real. And I do a lot of work.
And
for the
so
meal.
it wasn't that bad. I mean, it wasn't as bad as they said.
Maybe they just exaggerated.
Yeah.
To then make you be like, it wasn't that bad.
Right. It wasn't. I mean, the way people talked, I thought, I'm going to be like in the middle of a wet T-shirt contest or something, but it wasn't like that at all. So,
and then afterwards, were they like, hey, here's a hat?
You can bleep that out too.
And this podcast is going to be on TikTok.
The episode where we had to bleep my dad 15 times.
But it was
going to be called the What About Rated R Scott.
So
I'm going to bleep out other random words that weren't even bad just to give people the idea.
So I had this
Bleep out
hat.
Adverbs.
I had this hat because I was having a bad hair day, and this is the only cap I own because they gave us all. The sun was so bright that day; it was shining on our viewfinders and stuff, and it was hard to see. So they gave us all free caps, and it's the only cap I own. So I wore this. I'm generally not a cap guy because I have a big head and caps just don't look right on me. But Paul David reminded me recently that my mother used to say that all Bachmann men have a big head.
And now that I'm older, I wonder if she meant that big head literally or figuratively or both.
I don't know.
Oh man, that's funny.
Hey,
is that Drew calling again?
Is it?
He's probably like, are you away from that podcast?
No, that's not me. Hey, I brought a couple of things.
Yeah.
Real quick, that I found that I'd like to mention here.
This is the first time a notebook
Yeah.
has ever been brought out on Church Stories.
Is that my handwriting?
This is Paul.
Oh.
This is like
Is this the essay?
This is like 7-year-old Paul David's handwriting. This was like a homeschool project. I understand you guys did a video about homeschooling one time, or
Yeah, it was kind of just a little thing,
Yeah.
a little
Yeah,
thing that we just kind of put out.
Oh.
In fact,
Hey, this is true.
oh, okay.
How you doing? Back on Church Stories.
So I thought of a couple of things that
Awesome.
might interest you.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm not going to name any names. One was, I don't remember his name. It was a youth pastor, and just outside of San Diego, California. And how do I say this? Back in the 90s, California Christians were a little bit more free. I guess is a good way to say it.
In air quotes, free.
Yeah. They were a bit more free in areas that we were in the Bible Belt of the southeastern United States. And we were just laughing when it happened, but the youth pastor was a cool venue, about 150 people there, which was fun, and the youth pastor gets up on stage and proceeds to, again, the on-staff youth pastor said, "You guys are going to love my friend Stephanie." He said, "These guys are was the first thing he said that kind of startled me. He said, and then he proceeded to say a couple of things. He said, "Get ready, these guys are going to kick." He literally said that, and I'm sitting, this is at a church location, and I'm like, I looked at Yogi, the drummer, and I said, "Did he really just say what?" And Yogi started laughing. He goes, "I think so. This is going to be fun." And so we proceeded to have a great show, and the crowd was great, and that was that. But not that it's a sin to say those things, but you don't normally hear a youth pastor at a church function say, "And these guys are going to kick it off this platform." And so that took place, and then this is where I'm not going to call names. There's a California band, very extremely popular band in the modern rock, alternative rock, whatever you want to call it, category. So we're not talking Audio Adrenaline or DC Talk or what was the third one? That was the popular band. Newsboys, that was another one. We're not talking mega stars in the Christian rock world, but these guys were top of their game in their category and still have massive following, a massive fan base to this day. My band was starting a 3-month tour with this band. We were opening. The band I was in, we were opening a tour that took us all over Canada from coast to coast. It was a really cool deal. Well, we play our first show in Birmingham, Alabama. We go back to the hotel room. The hotel room was one of those, this was the mid-90s. So it was one of those hotels where when you opened your room door, you went to the outside. It wasn't like a center hallway on the indoor thing. And we get a knock on the door. Me and my bandmates are in our own room. And we get a knock on the door, and we proceed to open the door. And every member of the band, including, which was 1, 2, 3, 5 guys, including their roadie, were standing outside the door and said, "Hey!" They proceed to walk in, all of them holding a bottle of beer, and all of them completely 100% nude.
What?
Wearing no clothes. And they come walking in our room and just proceed to relax, sit in the chairs, lay and sit on the bed, and just say, "Man, that was a great show." They acted as if they were wearing clothes, and there was nothing strange in what they were doing. I am not lying. And I have video footage to prove it.
We won't need to see that. But thanks for.
And so I'm still friends with 3 of the guys from the band, and stuff. But it was a funny ha-ha thing. It was a miracle. They just wanted to break the ice since we were going to be on the road with them for 3 months.
I don't know if that's how I would go about it, but
Usually, you go to Waffle House, you get I don't know, you get a burger. These guys kind of were on the other end of the spectrum.
Yes, and all fairness, like when they were standing, they would hold their bottle of beer in a proper place to where they were slightly covering, but no, there was no shame whatsoever. and they proceeded to hang out for about 10 minutes in our room, and then said, "All right, well, we'll see you guys in the morning. We take off for Memphis tomorrow," and blah, 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 and here we go.
I bet you didn't let them in again after that.
Actually, I roomed with them over the phone. But honestly, nothing like that ever happened again. It was nothing weird. And it was odd. I can't say that I enjoyed it at all. But it was like I said, a funny, ha-ha, joking type of a thing. And we proceeded to have a great tour over the following 3 months, and still have great memories of that trip. So that's the 2 stories that came to mind.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
I guess the band thing really wasn't a church story, but we did play at a church before we went back to the hotel, and
Yeah.
we proceeded to get naked. And,
Oh man. Oh, that's
Wow,
hilarious.
yeah,
Thank you, Uncle Drew.
Thanks for sharing that with us.
all right, well, I'll let you guys go.
All right. Bye.
This episode is so going to be flagged.
I was about to say, like, this really is the rated R episode.
It's going to be flagged by YouTube as completely inappropriate
Can
for
I?
somebody.
What are we gonna do?
What are we gonna title this?
Oh man, the one about the one that beeps.
The one where the Bachmann brothers go off the rails.
the R-rated Bachmans. Oh man, wait, do you know who that band was? Do you have an idea who that band was?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. They were pretty popular for a stretch there in the 90s.
We'll talk about it.
But here's the thing. They were like real, like what we call baby Christians when they got saved, and all of a sudden they got signed and they got thrown out onto the road, and they were just like living the rock and roll lifestyle, and they weren't really deep in their faith yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, and so it was all a little much.
Well, it's like you were telling me, either you or Tim was telling me, like, you would watch bands, these, non-Christian bands, go up on stage, and they knew that if they wanted to up their merch sales, just to drop, Jesus is the reason why we do this in the middle of their set, or like, give it up for Jesus. We're doing it for his glory and his glory, whatever. Yeah. And that would, people would be like, amen. Yeah. And then they'd sell T-shirts and stickers in the back.
Yeah. I'll never forget, I was running camera at Channel 16 one night when this very legendary gospel quartet, famous, announced that we just want to praise the Lord tonight, that I forgot his name, just say Glenn, our bass player, has given his heart to Jesus tonight. And dude had been in the band for years. I mean, he had been in this group, this gospel quartet for years.
He's on album covers.
And they announced on this telethon that he got saved that night. So.
I bet you they just picked up a bass player from freaking Nashville. Yeah. The port that shoots out bass players every other day. And they're like, hey, let's get back to this.
Back to the homeschool thing.
Drew derailed us.
So I'm at work one morning, and I get an email from a coworker. Scott, is your son in a homeschool video? I was like, yeah, I think so. Why? I just saw that, and it is so funny. It's hilarious. And so everybody at my work was talking about it, and I don't even know. I forgot how they even came across it. Yeah. But they're not like typical like church people or whatever. But so I found this where apparently homeschool PD was given an assignment to write a two-page summation of a vacation that we went on.
Oh no,
PD, do you remember this?
No, I have no memory of this.
And so
that's why when he pulled it up, I was like, is that my handwriting? What is that?
So he typed, it has a catchy title. He wrote across the top, Vacation. That's the title.
Short but sweet.
Oh man, BD's always cared about word economy.
And this first part is true. I did enter a AAA contest sweepstakes thing, and we actually won money to go on a trip.
Really?
Yeah. First time I'd ever won anything in my life. So this really did happen. Okay, here we go. We entered in a sweepstakes to win $3,000 towards any trip we wanted to take, and we won. Thank Allah.
Did I ever?
Oh man, what a conservative Christian homeschool zag. Oh man.
We packed way too much luggage and we packed way too much luggage and headed off for Port Canaveral, Florida. We drove for 2 days and then got on the ship. There were lots of things to do on the ship. Eat, water slides, sky cars, watch Cartoon Network, go to performances. But I enjoyed being on the islands more. I've never been in ocean water so clear. I'm used to Charleston where the water is green. We went to 4 different islands: Grand Turk, St. Thomas, St. Martin, and Tortola. We did a lot of fun things on the islands, saw wild animals, swam, went to Blackbeard's castle, etc. We had a great time on our trip, but that does not change the fact that it wasn't enough for 2 pages. And he only wrote 1 page.
He wrote that?
Yeah. That does not change the fact that it was not long enough for 2 pages. That's it. That was a good cruise, though.
Yeah.
You gotta admit. We went to a place called...
I've always been a difficult person. I guess.
Man, PD. We're laughing at old PD killing in 2020.
Killing myself.
Thank Allah. Has the Miss Garabedian story ever been told on this show?
I don't know.
Do you want to tell? You want me to
I mean,
tell
you
that?
can do it.
Chama, do you know that story?
No. Wait, is this the teacher?
Yeah.
I probably heard it. Yeah, but you could retell it. I don't remember it.
So it was at the end of first grade, or was it at the end of second grade? At the end of first.
K5. Last day of K5.
Last day of
Yeah.
K5. So everybody's in the room and they're giving out the awards. You know, the craftiest student, sweetest student, whatever. I forgot what you got. You got some award.
Yeah.
And so everybody's sitting there and we're listening to this teacher talk, and this teacher, his teacher that started the year got pregnant and had to leave mid-year. So this is the teacher that had just been there the last few months, and she was like, "You boys and girls have been so sweet. I have loved getting to know each and every one of you, and I am going to be in first grade next year, so hopefully I'll have some of you in my class next year, and I can't wait to see you again." And Paul David raised his hand. And so it's us, all the other parents and all the kids. And she said, "Yes, Paul David." And he looked at her and he said, "We're not going anywhere with you, melonhead." And his mother and I looked at each other like, "What?" And the teacher said, "What was that? What did you say?" And he repeated, "We're not going anywhere with you, melonhead."
And then it just gets brushed over.
And she said, "Okay, well, there's going to be snacks and refreshments outside. And so thank you all for coming." And man, we wanted to just fall through the floor. I mean, talk about embarrassed. And so like we went up to her. "We are so sorry. We don't know what he was." And then we found out later. You want to explain what you were doing?
I was quoting my favorite movie, Master of Disguise with Dana Carvey. And I guess K5 PD's like, "Oh, everybody has seen this movie." I'll quote it.
Narrator, everybody had not seen the movie.
He was trying to get a laugh.
Oh, man.
Not realizing that what he said was horribly inappropriate at a terrible time, and that nobody else would know that it was from a Dana Carvey movie. You know, it's like.
But I got so many residual laughs from doing that.
Because we've been talking about this story for years. Yeah, we've been sharing this story for years.
Man, that's like so it's like you were in a sitcom with no audience.
Yeah, I was always doing bits, I guess, my whole life. Because I mean, I just shared that Joe the plumber thing.
yeah.
And my third grade teacher told them that like I'll make jokes that like only she understood. Like
Did you know that you were doing that?
Yeah, because I don't. I would watch adult television.
So then you'd leave and you'd be like, huh, here's a reference.
My favorite things to watch were Sports Center and the news, I think, or in cartoons. But I would also.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
that is so funny. So when did you? Were you just thinking? Did you just have that Petey's notebook handy?
I've been going through a bunch of boxes of old stuff. You know how you throw things in a box, like ticket stubs and different things like memorabilia. And I've been going through some stuff lately and just found some things. And I thought,
man.
In fact, here's one more thing where he must have been like 6 or 7. And he got on the internet and started writing down jokes that he thought were funny that he copied from other people. And so this is not original stuff.
that's how I started. I would just go find jokes.
But this is
anywhere
the
and-
kind of
yeah.
stuff that he thought was funny when he was a little kid.
So you would write who told you to write these down?
No one.
So you just write them down?
Yeah, I'd just be like, I need to have funny things to say for if things come up.
That's so funny. It's like when you're a kid and you want to be, your only framework for being funny is when somebody else is funny.
Yeah.
And so you're like, that.
So there's 4 pages here of one-liners.
Okay.
Like just like I guess you were like, I can use these at youth group or whatever one day, or
Yeah.
I don't know. So here, just to give you a sample, I'll just read 3 or 4. Jesus loves you. It's everybody else who thinks you're an idiot. Here's a good one. Follow your dreams, except that one where you're naked at work.
You hadn't even worked yet.
I'm not a vegetarian because I love animals. I'm a vegetarian because I hate plants. and last, anything worth taking seriously is worth making fun of. I think that one has some staying power. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I remember I'd just be like watching Nick at Night, and if I heard something funny, I'd be like, "Oh, I need to remember that." Like if George Lopez said they called somebody a funny name, yeah.
You're like, would you pause it? You couldn't pause TV.
No,
then.
I would just like
You just had to commit that to memory.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that is so funny. That is so funny. Yeah, that's what I read an article a while back about how the internet is has kind of fragmented all of us right now. So there was a time where, if a TV show was on, you didn't have an option. Like you could watch that TV show or like another one. Yeah. Whereas now, like my wife and I, we watch Cheers on
There's
NBC,
the occasional
on Hulu,
like Netflix breakthrough hit that everyone watches.
Yeah, now,
but it's not often.
But even then, you still have to talk to people about it. Like then, like, oh, did you watch it? Oh, yeah, I did watch it. Because after, like, we all watched Tiger King. Yeah. I don't remember a lot of it now.
Except that Doc Antle, I sent that to you and Chase.
Yeah. Doc Antle got arrested.
Yeah.
Tiger King 2.
Did you watch Tiger King?
You told me.
Oh yeah.
You were like, you have got to watch this documentary, and so I did. And did you know that woman is now on Dancing with the Stars?
Dude. She was eliminated first, and then the family of Don Lewis took out an ad during the show to be like, "We are the family of Don Lewis, and if you have any information about our father,"
like during the show,
they just like grabbed everybody from the documentary that they could, and they were like, "If you have any information, please call this number. Like any tips." Because we need to know what happened to our father.
Dude.
Yeah.
So
and Carol's probably watching.
Man, that's... So that was... I remember when I saw that she was going to be on it, I just yelled it out to Grace wherever I was in the house. I was like, hey, Carol Baskin's going to be on...
Did you make her watch Tiger King?
Yeah. No, I don't think she watched all of it. She, like, fell asleep. Because I was trying to... When I started it was probably like 9 or 10 p.m. This was, like, middle of quarantine, too. So I wasn't going anywhere the next day. I could not get enough. I was so intrigued that I just blasted through it.
And sometimes if the documentary filmmaking is good enough, it doesn't even matter what it's about.
Yeah. No. Right.
It's like if it's put together well enough, it's going to keep you at your like that one about that weird guru guy out in Montana.
Yeah. What was
that called?
Country something.
Wild Country.
Country.
I actually just started that one.
I could not stop watching that.
I watched that one. I lived alone, and that scared the crap out of me. I'd have to at night. I'd have to turn on the lights. It was so creepy.
That's what happens when I listen to true crime podcasts. I'm like, oh, the world isn't just like safe.
Yeah. You just end up making sure your doors are locked.
Yeah.
But that one got so crazy because have you finished it? Have you finished it?
No,
PD?
I haven't finished it.
Oh. Anyways,
No.
that one of those. So the documentary, I don't know what it's rated, but it's definitely not kid friendly. It just gets crazy, and it's all found footage. They're not recreating anything. It's all footage that they found. But it gets so ridiculous. I'm not gonna spoil it, but yeah, it gets so ridiculously serious that you're at a point like, oh, I didn't know people could do that, and like we can't give people can't have that much power.
Yeah.
Like a group of people, a group of hippies in Washington, or was it Oregon, grew so powerful that the government was like, excuse us? Hold on, excuse us real quick, guys. We gotta come in here real quick. Yeah, it gets
How
crazy.
could they follow that guy? He never said anything of any substance.
No,
he never
no.
did or said anything of any.
That's the weird thing about. So I was talking to some friends about this too. I've done some work for some big agencies, some big companies, and where you interview the CEO, like a $1 billion industry, and they're never impressive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're never like ha ha. They're always like, oh, crew, we ready? And you're like, what are you? You're the one. You're the captain of this ship. And just one-on-one. So I don't know. I wonder if what takes somebody to be that ridiculously, of a leader also just kind of gives them, the horse they ride in on is weird, but you are all like, I don't know, this guy's kind of got it. Let's keep on going with him.
Lauren was so annoyed at me for mentioning Tiger King. She's like, you you never shut up about Tiger King. So like then when I tried to get her to watch it, she refused for months.
Yeah. And the hype subsided.
Yeah, and then I get a text that says Doc Antle's voice is like really smooth or something. Like I forgot soothing. I think
So that was her intro. That was her first text into like letting you know, hey, by the way,
I'm watching Tiger King. Doc Antle has a soothing voice.
You're like,
I was like,
hold on
what?
a second.
Him?
Oh my gosh. Man.
I will watch the random documentary, but I don't watch TV shows much. I watch a lot of YouTube, and it's just ridiculous sometimes.
The rabbit holes.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you like this video, please like and subscribe.
You find weirdos though. You found the BVD guy, this random Tennessee fan who just films on his iPhone.
Is this the guy?
How about this? How about the girls that are like, I've been putting off making this video for a long time.
Oh my
but
gosh,
I
man.
feel like I need to make this video for you guys, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through it. I can't even talk about it without crying.
Yeah.
But please tell me in the comments what you think, and yeah.
Well, if you want some good entertainment,
It's always just like me and Jeremy broke up.
I was about to say, type in "we broke up,"
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's a genre.
But here's my favorite. So just internet background. So what'll end up happening is if for example, I'm a popular creative on YouTube. If I was single, people who are single and like popular, like YouTubers, they'll date another popular YouTuber. And so the cross-pollination of followers ends up building.
Yeah.
So when they, you make videos together that you both put out on, I put it out on my platform, then she put it out on her channel. So that way her fans know about me and my fans know about her, and they know about us. But when they break up, the real estate is who gets to do the breakup video. But sometimes they'll team up to do the breakup video together.
I saw that one
Plot
of those.
twist.
David
Plot
Dobrik.
twist,
I don't know
yeah.
anything about David Dobrik.
They'll do it together and then release it on both their separate channels so they can both monetize it for the last time. And that to me, David Dobrik and like Liza, the two popular YouTubers, they broke up and they made a video. And people are like, this was the sweetest breakup. I'm like, God.
It's just confusing to me.
It's just, I'm like, okay, cool. You scheduled it. You like planned it. You broke up and you're like, Do you want to come over? You want to film this thing?
I've been working all my life. I'm ready to. I'm done working for the man. I want to be my own boss, and so I'm trying to figure out how to make a full-time living at YouTube. And I think I know what I think,
YouTube. Yeah,
I think I know. If I were to start wearing makeup, I could do get ready with me videos.
Yeah.
Get ready with me? Is that a genre?
Yeah, it's a
all
whole
you
thing.
do is set up a camera and a ring light.
Yep.
And
have
while,
the crazy eyes with the
while
ring light.
you put on your makeup, while you're getting ready for your day, you're just talking about whatever.
Yep.
And 20 minutes later, you show the before and after of how unready for the world you were at the beginning of the video, and then how great you look. And they're probably bringing down $8,000 a month from those videos.
I mean, even more.
Is that,
me
just
tell you.
is that a weird podcast? Basically,
No, it's not really anything because they don't even like talk much.
Oh.
It'll just be like, hey, I got this from freaking Sephora, and I got this from breaking blah 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 blah. And I love it. And oh, you got to see this top that I got. It's so cute. I got it. Blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of like
haul videos.
It's just like
haul videos are awesome.
I don't
too.
know what haul videos are.
What is that?
See, what'll happen is YouTube will suggest things to me based on the subject matter.
Yeah.
And so that's how I end up just checking some of these things out just to see how crazy they are.
Then you find a whole subgenre of content and people.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And by the way, let's take a break right now and read some super chats.
Hey, we do want to read an email though. That's a thing
super chats. That's like
Super
from Twitch, right? I think
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like people who pay.
Why do you know these things?
I'm telling you, I watch too much YouTube. Hey, John, thanks for the super chat. Thanks for the $5.
We get $5.
Yeah.
Somebody who sent in $5.
Get him to read
taking
an email.
30% of that, but
Do we have new ones?
We do.
I want a couple of one guy I wanted to give a little shout out to. I was in a store the other day and I saw Christmas ornaments of toilets.
Shut up.
Toilet Christmas ornaments at the At Home store. Can I mention they're not
At Home?
At Home is not a sponsor of this podcast, but
Yeah.
At which store?
I know. My first thought is who in the heck would put a toilet ornament on their Christmas tree, and then I thought Josh Rauschenberg.
Hey, no. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so
I do that ironically,
shout
and then
out to Josh.
never talk about it. And then if somebody comes over, they're like, huh. And then I would be like, I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, I remember Josh's Facebook posts were always interesting.
Yeah. It always something toilet related. No, not all of it. He's got a son now. All right, this is from Isaac Davenport. Mr. Scott, would you like to read this email?
Oh, well, now that he's got a son, it's probably
Isaac.
extra toilet related.
Because now it's him and his son.
Isaac, thanks for taking time to write.
Thank you, Isaac.
Thank you for the super chat. This is the equivalent of a super chat in my mind.
Emails.
Yeah. Hello, PD and Shama.
And Mr. Scott.
My name is Isaac, and I have a few stories from my years of church experience. The first story is a short one from when I was getting baptized. I was 8 at the time. I'm 15 now, and I was being baptized with my older siblings. We did our testimonies and were baptized. The pastor dunked me under, and everything was going okay. Now I'm going to stop here and mention how at our church we wore these long white gowns that made us look really holy and such. I like it, the and such.
He's not even sure. He's like, what is it? Okay, what are we doing? All right,
We
cool.
looked holy and
I'm
such.
a medium. Cool. Just hand me the gown.
Me being 8 was pretty small and mine was really long. As I was getting out of the tub, I slipped on the gown and tumbled down the 5 steps on my butt until I landed at the bottom. We have this on video, and it is very embarrassing.
Wow.
Oh, that's funny.
My second story happened last year. I was in 10th grade and going to a small group meeting at my youth pastor's house for the 10th graders. We started off by doing the Bible study, which went totally fine, except for the fact that I made a really dumb joke, and everyone hated me even more than they already do. But that's not the point. After the Bible study was over, we played some typical party games. our leader had this new game that he wanted to do. It basically consisted of putting everyone in a car, driving to a school 5 miles away, and telling us to find our way back to the youth pastor's home while the leaders chased us in their cars.
What?
Wow.
This sounds like a lawsuit.
I mean, it sounds like a lawsuit, like a homicide, but attempted homicide, endangering a minor. I feel like there are several. Like you can catch a lot of charges. And he said this was last year.
Wow.
So this was 2019. This is not even like the late 80s. This is recent.
No.
So then Isaac says, well, my sheltered self, who had no smartphone at the time, was at least smart enough to go with kids who had a GPS. My best friend, who also had no phone, on the other hand, decided it would be a good idea to trek back to the house by himself from memory while it was dark. He ended up getting lost walking back to the school and sitting there for 2 hours while the rest of us forgot about him and kept playing games. He ended up getting a ride back from a stranger and survived the experience with a very unhappy mother.
A stranger? That
Wait a second.
That could have easily ended up in a homicide.
This like
he hitchhiked home.
Losing. I think the worst thing they're gonna is like losing. Okay, there's death, but then there's like losing somebody, or you're like, I don't know where your son is, ma'am. Like this youth pastor risked it all for like a the return of investment of that prank is very little. You made it back to my house.
I think the most distraught I ever saw you is when you forgot to pick up a kid for some youth function.
Oh yeah, it was a skating rink party, and I forgot to pick up his kid and his brother. I totally said, "Hey, I'll pick you up," and I didn't. I rented the skating rink and pork sliders and everything, and I forgot to pick up 2 kids.
Wow.
And there's a picture of me skating. I was having a great time, but my face said otherwise.
Oh, yeah, you're just chilling. You're like yeah.
That was that. Somebody made a caption that was hilarious to that picture. They were like, when you're at the skating rink with your youth group, but you can't stop thinking about starving children.
Yeah. That was posted on the official Planet Red page.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Mm.
Hey, I was back when I was the youth pastor, and I was the head meme. I okayed a lot of that stuff.
So he wraps
We'll
it up.
post that meme, by the way.
He wraps it up by saying, lesson learned, never trust a 30-year-old youth pastor. Thanks, Isaac.
Man.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what is the... I feel like youth pastors every single year are it's a race to the bottom, and I don't want anybody to die, but I'm like, at this point, low key inevitable. Is that bad to say? Like, what is it going to take?
I mean, I'm not going to do this because the stories are probably horrible, but if I typed in youth group death, how many results do you think I would get?
Man, throw in Florida in front of that. Yeah, man. Well, we learned a lot today.
I think we should title this episode "The One That Went Off the Rails."
the one that got bleeped.
The what about beep?
The one that broke our bleeper.
We just got an intern in the corner like, but guys, I can't keep up.
And
then Drew's on the phone, and I can't see him.
There's some homeschool mom that's like, this show took a turn, and my kids can't listen to.
Wait, I don't know if we have to put some type of disclaimer on it or whatever. But hey, our hearts is that's the ministry. That's the youth pastor thing to say if you get caught up.
The thing about Tiger King, and pretty much any show like that that's made now, there's all kinds of horrible language, like throughout the thing. That's my text from Mike Pence. You want me to? Can I read it?
Yeah, read it.
Did he mention a fly?
From Mike Pence. Urgent.
Oh, no.
Nancy is trying to remove President Trump from office. We need a surge in fundraising. They want my money. We need a surge in fundraising to fight back. Claim the final 800% match. Wow, that sounds interesting. I don't even know what that means. Anyway,
what I heard is that like at the end of every financial quarter for them. They're about to disclose numbers or something, and they want as many people to donate like right before that as possible. So then they'll be like, emergency.
And and I'm not saying anything about where I stand politically or anything like that, because but you know that you're famous when all they have to do is use your first name. All they have to say is Nancy, and everybody knows who Nancy is. It's like it's like Cher, Madonna,
What? Nancy?
Elvis,
Oh, no.
Nancy.
Man.
So anyway, my
That's
whole
your first. We were just talking about that. Man, this podcast has really come full circle.
my whole view of politics is they're like professional wrestlers.
Yeah.
They pretend to argue and fight
Yep.
during the day for the C-SPAN cameras, and then at night they go to parties together
We can
and
eat expensive steaks together.
play
Yeah.
golf on the weekends, and it's all a big
Yeah.
show.
It's all
Anyway.
the same
What,
thing. What did
like
George
RBG
Carlin
and
say?
Scalia were like great friends or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say,
It's one big club, and we're not in it. That's the George
the
Carlin club.
language on Tiger King, is something that for a guy like me, I'm like, ugh, But it's because my parents, when I was young, my parents had a 3 cuss word rule.
Uh-oh.
It's like if you're watching a show,
Yeah.
like
If like they see you watching a show.
if we were watching a show, which there was only one TV and it was in the middle of the house and in the common area, and this in the early 70s is when they first started having cuss words in shows.
Hey, come here. You see here,
And it
little
was-
boy.
It was we weren't allowed to watch All in the Family, but Sanford and Son.
Yeah.
They would let a word go once in a while, and then Carol Burnett, the Mama's Family skit, they started using cuss words in that one. So we'd be watching these shows, and we loved these shows, and there would be a word, and all of a sudden they you'd hear my mom or my dad from the next room say, "All right, that's one," and then that's 2. One more and it goes off.
They
And
turn off the TV.
after the 3rd cuss word, show goes off.
Would you change channels, or was that? Did you want to keep on?
I mean, we could be right in the middle of the Shama. There were 3 networks.
Oh, my bad.
There was no way to record anything. There were no VCRs. There were no DVRs.
Yeah.
If you missed a Charlie Brown Christmas,
You missed it.
you missed it until next year.
Yeah. Dang.
It's like there was no. So if the TV went off and you missed the end of that show, you never knew if you were ever going to see it again.
So, did you spend a lot of time watching TV with just your fingers crossed, like, please don't cuss, please, Carol, please, I'm begging you.
Remember, I had a little argument with Papa because I was trying to watch Star Wars: The Clone Wars on Cartoon Network, and he's like, "No violence," and I was like, "It's a cartoon."
Do you know what the cutoff was for my parents? My dad, if people kissed on TV, he'd ask, "Are they married? Are they married?" And be like, "No, they're just 2 actors." Like, turn it off. This is trash. And we would turn it off. I remember we were watching. We were watching The Champion. The movie with oh my gosh, Carmen, where he plays a boxer, and he's dating this fine-looking Hispanic woman the whole movie, and at the end they get married and they kiss, and my dad's like, "Are they married?" This movie's on TVN, and I'm like, "No," and he's like, "This is trash. This is trash," and we had to turn it off. So yeah, so it's like, I don't even know why.
What are you gonna do?
I didn't kiss for a long time. I didn't want to be a part of that trash.
And then on the other
I didn't want my
hand,
dad to turn me off.
I had a bit of a different experience. I was like hooked on SNL like my whole life.
Yeah. Bill Burr was on this weekend.
Oh, it was hilarious.
yeah.
Did you hear the monologue?
I did. I watched it on YouTube this
Oh,
morning.
it was so funny.
Very funny.
Did you hear it?
You'd like it.
Yeah, he went
You'd
out.
like it. Are you a bit?
I mean, I like watching, and again, this goes back to the language thing. I like watching him on those Conan clips on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because I know he's generally not going to cuss on the Conan clips, but it's
Yeah.
still going to be just as funny.
And also, him and Conan are really good, like partners comedically, because Conan's the straight man who's like can't believe what Bill is saying.
Man, I just imagine, man, if you were raised, Mr. Scott, now, I mean, you'd probably have the TV on for like 2 seconds before Mr. Brown's like, 3, turn it off. You're like, the theme song hasn't even started yet. That was literally the first, the what is it called?
Now kids have their own iPads. They just walk around everywhere with them because parents.
It's scary. Steve Martin was hilarious in the 70s. He had these albums, Let's Get Small and A Wild and Crazy Guy.
Yeah.
Funniest stuff you ever saw or heard in your life. And somehow we got a hold of those records. We had an 8-track. You ever heard of 8-track tapes?
Yeah.
We had an 8-track recorder. We could record 8 tracks even. And so we recorded all the clean parts of the Steve Martin album on an 8-track that we could listen to that with our parents around and not worry about it.
Yeah.
And then we would just keep the record put under,
did it still
under
make
our bed or whatever.
How much context did you lose by recording the clean parts?
No, it was his stuff was just a series of short bits. And so it was just one right after the other.
He's hilarious. That stuff holds up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know Diana Valerie, who does hair and makeup for a bunch of projects that we do. She did hair and makeup for Steve Martin and Martin Short when they did their special downtown Greenville.
What was the Cadillac up your nose?
I watched
bit?
that special.
Yeah. One of our own, Diana, worked on that and then turned around and worked on Homeschool Anthem for us.
To annoy Annie, I would sing this Steve Martin bit. It's impossible to put a Cadillac up your nose.
It's just impossible.
Oh, man.
Hey, I could, if we got started quoting Steve Martin stuff, I could just go forever.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if he's ever. He does like musical comedy. Does he do comedy?
He got out of the game for a while, but he did that special with Martin Short, and he's hosted SNL like the most times. That's why I call Jonathan Wright the SNL of church stories. And you, I guess, are y'all tied again?
Oh, by the way, what?
Are you tied
you
for
and Jonathan.
most church stories appearences?
I don't know about that, but I was going to say he and I are friends on Facebook now, and we shared a moment recently remembering a Whiteheart album or a Whiteheart Whiteheart was a Christian rock arena band back in the day that were really good.
Rock arena?
You want to try to call him?
Yeah.
Huh? Right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, call him and see. Yeah, call him so we can be like, hey.
Call Jonathan Wright.
If you talk for more than 3 minutes, this would make you and Mr. Scott tied. Now, I don't know if 3 minutes is the cutoff or not.
So when I'm watching this back, when I'm watching this at home, whenever this, I don't know when this is going to actually air or whatever.
Next Wednesday, not this Wednesday. Next Wednesday.
I could look at myself right now and say, "Hey, put your phone down, pay attention to the show, watch the screen." Put your phone down. Stop playing those mindless games.
Come on, Jonathan. Mr. Scott, pay attention to you. You're a guest on the show, and you're watching it on the couch right now. Man, hey, let's end up with some church stories. No, let's end up with praise reports. Y'all know the drill. Mr. Scott, you got a praise report?
Oh yeah, I do. I have lost 16 pounds in the last 30 days.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah. Doing alternative day fasting, which I learned about on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Did you learn about it from Get Ready With Me, or someone was like, I've actually been starving?
Is that where you eat normally and then you don't eat the next day?
You basically eat like for 12 hours one day, and you don't eat like a crazy person. I mean, there's no rules. Like you don't have to avoid any particular type of food or food group, but common sense tells you don't just eat, French fries and milkshakes for 8 hours or it's not going to work. So you eat normal, one day for 8 hours, and then the next day you just don't eat. You just drink water. And so obviously you're going to lose weight. So every other day basically you're eating for 8 hours, then fasting for 36. Eat for 8, fast. And it sounds extreme, but it's really not that hard to do.
It's like like fasting essentially, right?
Yeah. So anyway, that's that. I'm doing well with that. What else? I got a freelance job coming up. My first freelance gig since a basketball game all the way back in January.
Sheesh, man.
Thanks, China.
Man.
And that, I guess that's about it. There was something else that's good. Oh, Alabama, our quarterback became
Tua?
the first. No, Tua's gone to the NFL.
Get it together,
Keep
Sean.
up.
Forgive me, Bama gods.
King Tua is in
Roll
Miami
Tide,
now.
amen. Roll Tide, amen. Roll Tide, amen. Sorry.
Our quarterback became unbelievably the first Alabama quarterback to throw for over 400 yards passing in 2 consecutive games. It happened last night.
Yeah.
The only way to win that game last night was to outscore them, which we did. So Thank you, Lord. So,
Roll Tide.
yes.
Thank you, China.
Is Roll Tide and Amen interchangeable if you're a Bama fan?
Yeah, it's kind of like hallelujah. It's like, yeah, you could say
Yeah.
hallelujah, or you could say roll tide.
You say Roll Tide?
Yeah. Lauren wore my Alabama jacket once and then said she would never do it again because she doesn't want strangers saying Roll Tide to her.
Did
again.
people say Roll Tide to her?
She's like, people would say Roll Tide, and then I would just.
You weren't together?
No, she had it, and then she like ran some errands or something, and she's like, "Yeah, I forgot I was wearing it," and people would be like, "Roll Tide," and I would just be confused.
Please. Oh, that's kind of like I had a friend. I gotta say the team that shall not be named in a room with Bachmans. He was a big Clemson fan. My friend Forrest.
Yeah.
And I've traveled the U.S. with this guy when we worked at a production company, and dude, planes, trains, buses, automobiles, boats. Anytime he'd always wear Clemson merch, and somebody would just always go Tigers. I'm talking like we'd be like walking to a seat on a plane. I'd be behind him and somebody would go, "Hey, go Tigers," and he'd be like, "Go Tigers," and they would just, that's it. Like that's their interaction.
Yeah.
Everywhere through this country. I thought it was just crazy, and I'm like, man, the sports thing,
It connects
I
people.
like watching you guys connect, but I'm outside of the connection. PD, what's your praise report?
My praise report is that after we did the reviews episode where somebody mentioned the Taylor Swift guitar solo thing,
Yeah.
I had completely forgotten about this, but I remembered the Taylor Swift karaoke albums that she puts on streaming. So then I was just playing guitar through Taylor Swift stuff.
Do we need to put this out? Does this need to be do we need an EP of this?
Maybe.
Is this what the people want? My praise report is bought a second Prius, guys.
Really?
We own 2 Priuses now. One is for my wife, one is for me. If you've been listening long enough, you know I had an SUV, I had a Volvo, then I bought a Prius. And guys, you can't hide money. I have a 2007 and a 2009 Prius. That's it. That's my praise report. And so far, so good. Bought it from a Russian guy named Tim. Good guy.
I was thinking about getting
He's
a
a Christian.
Prius, and then my mom said, "Well, if you get hit, you're gonna get killed. You're gonna get crushed." I was like, "Well, thanks.
All right, this has been
Thanks for
church
having
stories.
faith in me."
This has been church stories. No, that's not the case.
Yeah, that's what she thought. I don't know why.
Man, don't say that. Hey, all right. Cool. Mr. Scott, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, and thank you guys for the super chats.
Yeah. Thank yourself, too.
Yeah, please smash that subscribe button.
yeah,
We actually have 400 subscribers on YouTube, which it doubled after Pastor Puppet.
I know. Thank you, guys. And guess what? We're not bringing that stupid puppet back.
Hey, I told PD after the puppet thing and everything, which was great, awesome,
Yeah.
amazing. I was like, why didn't you mention that you come from a long line of puppeteers? 'Cause me and his uncles, we did puppets and children's ministry all over the country for 7 years.
And just throwing this out there, like if we did another thing with Pastor Puppet, I mean, you and Uncle Tim could totally play some part too.
Yeah, I was in the first generation raised by Sesame Street, basically.
Yeah,
so,
man, Jim Henson, man.
If we write the Pastor Puppet movie,
moment of
the
silence.
Pastor feature film. Yeah. Rest in peace, Jim
Moment
Henson.
of silence for Jim Henson.
the 3-hour Pastor Puppet movie.
I was
The three hour.
When I was a kid, my grandmother bought Ernie and Bert puppets for us at a True Value hardware store or something,
Man.
or Western Auto
How
or something.
much?
I loved those.
And we started using them in children's church. And
Yeah.
I was always Ernie. I was like, "Hey, Bert. Hey, so what you got going there, Bert?" And my brother
You would
was
Jesus
like,
juke everybody? You would Jesus juke everybody as Ernie
Yeah.
and Bert?
"Yeah,
Nah, that's
Oh,
what,
yeah.
Dude, the kids go insane for the puppets.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if any kids have watched Pastor Puppet. People are like, this is a mean puppet. This is a mean puppet. I don't like, he was mean to my friends. And we're like, we wrote it. Your friends wrote it. We wrote in that part. I bought the puppet. It sits in a box here somewhere. Mr. Scott, pleasure.
Yep.
PD, man, thank you so much for being a host on the show, man. You're just killing it. And we'd like to also thank is it 7-year-old?
something like
8-year-old,
who knows?
7-year-old PD for sending in a letter.
that." Thank Allah.
And we're gonna thank Allah for this show.
I mean, all throughout youth group, I had a history of saying controversial things for attention.
Yes. And now somehow you've conned me into producing these, and we put it out for people. And this thing that we put out has been church stories.
And this thing that we put out has been awesome.
It's the best ending segue, Mr. Scott. Oh no! Oh no, Mr. Scott. How are you gonna?
His mask broke.
Gosh, no! Liberals everywhere are sobbing. I can't believe it.
I'm gonna die now.
I'm just kidding, guys. I'm both a liberal and a conservative.
A libservative.
All right, see you.
Did you see my post where I went to buy jeans today? I went to Ross to buy. That's my go-to place to buy clothes.
Good jeans.
I went and I go in there. I had no clue. All this time later, I find 3 pairs of jeans that are 34, 32s. I go back to try them on, and the dressing room Nazi tells me, "We're sorry, our dressing rooms are closed."
Oh yeah, they've been closed.
And
it's
so
like some
I'm standing
stores,
there
though.
for a second. I'm trying to process.
You're like,
how am I going to get COVID or give COVID from trying on pants?
via pants?
I don't remember.
I don't know, man.
And so I just looked at him for a second, and I was like, "So, what if I need to know if these fit or not?" He said,
can't.
"He said, take them home and try them on, and then if they don't fit, you can bring them back."
Who's gonna do that?
But you can't. You can't return clothes now either.
Oh,
He
really?
said I could.
Yeah. You can't. He said no. He was probably wrong. I heard you can't. I know Walmart and like a bunch of other places, Target. I don't think they're accepting like clothing
So
returns.
I'm not doing. I mean, I have to, because different shirts and pants can fit differently no matter what the label says.
Yeah.
You have to try them on. So I'm like, what are they thinking? I mean, obviously the economy is still being hurt by this, because I walked out of there. I would have bought 2 pairs of pants. I walked out with nothing.
The economy. Listen, man. Listen. You got to remember the liberal agenda is to attack big pants.
That's why they work out all the time.
Mr. Scott, big pants has been doing too good for too long. People like you have been buying 2 pants at a time. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Not anymore. That was just an aside, guys. We're going to keep that in. We're not even going to put it behind the paywall either.
we're
Free
still on?
ending of an episode. Yeah.
We're still on. Keep those super chats rolling in.